The Mr. Show, Mr. Nosy by Roger Hargreaves. Mr. Nosy liked to know about everything. That's what's going on. He always poking his nose into other people's business. Mr. Nosy is the sort of person who, if they came upon a locked door, couldn't resist to looking through the keyhole to see why the door has been locked. Mr. Nosy was the sort of person who, if he found an unopened letter addressed to somebody else, would simply have to open it to find out what's inside. Mr. Nosy was the sort of person who, if he was sitting reading his paper on the train, would rather read the paper of the person sitting next to him. Naturally, as you might well imagine, Mr. Nosy was not very popular. People did not like the way in which Mr. Nosy would peek and pry into their affairs. They did not like it at all. But did that stop Mr. Nosy peeking and prying? It did not. Mr. Nosy lived in a funny Tolfin house in a place called Tittletown. The people of Tittletown decided that Mr. Nosy was becoming much too nosy, and so they held a meeting to discuss what to do about him. You must find a way to stop him being so nosy, said old Mr. Chips, the town carpenter. That's right, said Miss Washer, who ran the Tittletown laundry. He needs to be taught a lesson. If only we could think of a way to stop him poking his nose into everything, said Mr. Bush the painter, and a small smile spread over his face. Listen now, he said, now grinning. I have a plan. All his friends gathered around to listen to his plan. The following morning, Mr. Nosy was out walking along Tittletown High Street, and he heard somebody whistling behind one of the closed doors. I wonder what's going on in here, he thought to himself, and tiptoeing up to the door, he quickly opened it and peeped in. Splash! Where's a very wet paint? There's a very wet paintbrush on the wire of the end of Mr. Nosy's nose, covering it with bright red paint. Oh dear, I am sorry, said Mr. Brush, who was painting the inside of the door. Poor Mr. Nosy had to go straight home and try and remove the red paint. It was very difficult and rather painful. Mr. Bush chuckled to himself. The plan had begun. The following day, Mr. Nosy was walking past the laundry when he heard somebody laughing on the other side of the wall. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself, and standing on tiptoe, he looked over the wall. Snap! Snap! Went a clothes peg round the end of Mr. Nosy's nose. Oh dear, I'm ever so sorry, said Mrs. Washer, who was hanging up the clothes on the washing line on the other side of the wall. Poor Mr. Nosy removed the clothes peg and went off down the street, feeling extremely sorry for himself and for his poor wet nose. Mrs. Washer chuckled to herself. The plan had worked. The next day, Mr. Nosy was going past the fence when he heard hammering. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself, and creeping very quietly to the end of the fence, he peeped round. Bang! wet a hammer round the end of Mr. Nosy's nose. Oh, oh dear, I am sorry, said old Mr. Chips, who was nailing up the loose plank in the fence. Poor Mr. Nosy had to go home immediately and bandage the poor wet sore nose. Mr. Chips grinned a broad grin. The plan was working very well indeed. The following day, Mr. Nosy was walking in the woods when he heard somebody sawing wood. "Oi, what's going on here?" he thought to himself, and he crept up behind a tree. He was just about to peer from behind the tree when it suddenly occurred to him that if he did, something very nasty might happen to his nose, and so he went on his way without being very nosy. Behind the tree, with a saw-ways in his hands, stood Mr. Hurt the farmer. When he saw that Mr. Nosy had gone on his way without being nosy, he laughed and laughed and laughed. Ha 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 ha! The plan had worked. Mr. Hurt hurried into Tittertown to tell everybody. The plan really had worked, because after that Mr. Nosy stopped being nosy and soon became very good friends with everybody in Tittletown. And that's the end of the story, except to say that if you are ever tempted to be as nosy as Mr. Nosy used to be, you better expect one thing: a sore nose. Now, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell to tell me when we make our videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next reading.